Welcome to a new episode of Cheaters Always Cheat. Like, subscribe, and share to stay connected.
I've been on this journey of marriage for a significant 16 and a half years now, and if you count the time we've been together, it stretches to 21 years. Throughout this extensive period, our relationship has navigated through numerous peaks and valleys, each leaving its indelible mark on our lives. From the moment I laid eyes on her, I was captivated by her warmth and kindness. It was as if fate had orchestrated our meeting, for within just 2 minutes of our encounter, I found myself uttering the words, "You will be my wife." Little did I know then the intricate tapestry of joys and sorrows that awaited us. Our union blessed us with 2 beautiful children who quickly became the center of our universe. Their laughter filled our home with joy, their milestones marking the passage of time in a blur of precious moments. Yet, amidst the joys of parenthood, there emerged shadows of concern. Following the arrival of our second child, a subtle shift began to permeate our relationship. My wife, once the epitome of affection and vitality, seemed to retreat into herself, her vibrant spirit dimming with each passing day. I sensed a growing distance, an invisible barrier that separated us, leaving me grappling with uncertainty and worry. Concerned for her well-being, I broached the subject of seeking help, suspecting that she might be battling the silent assailant known as depression. However, my attempts were met with resistance, her walls fortified against the notion of seeking professional assistance. In the midst of economic turmoil, with the recession casting its shadow over our livelihood, the prospect of affording counseling seemed like an unattainable luxury. As the weight of financial responsibilities bore down on my shoulders, I found myself stretched thin, juggling multiple jobs and a side business in a relentless pursuit of survival. Despite the mounting pressure, I remained steadfast in my commitment to our family, determined to weather the storm together. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the chasm between us widened, echoing with the haunting refrain of unanswered questions. Her mood oscillated unpredictably, a pendulum swinging between moments of tranquility and storms of agitation. Desperate for answers, I sought to unravel the enigma shrouding her heart, only to be met with the hollow echo of her perennial refrain, "I don't know." In a bid to salvage what remained of our fractured bond, I implored her to join me in the pursuit of counseling, clinging to the hope that professional intervention might offer us a lifeline amidst the tempest. Reluctantly, she acquiesced, though her demeanor betrayed a palpable sense of apprehension. Together, we embarked on a journey into the depths of our shared struggles, laying bare the raw emotions that simmered beneath the surface. Yet, even amidst the sanctuary of the therapist's office, the specter of uncertainty loomed large, casting its long shadow over our fragile reconciliation. The therapist's words echoed with a sobering clarity, mirroring the sentiments I had long harbored in the recesses of my heart. "I can't work with, I don't know," they proclaimed, laying bare the stark reality of our predicament. And so, with each session, we navigated the labyrinth of our intertwined lives, grappling with the tangled web of emotions that threatened to engulf us. Yet, as the sands of time continued to trickle through the hourglass, the contours of our relationship began to shift once more. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, we found glimmers of hope amidst the wreckage of our shattered dreams. She sought solace in the counsel of a medical professional, embracing the prospect of antidepressants as a beacon of light in the darkness. For a fleeting moment, it seemed as though the clouds had parted, revealing a sliver of blue amidst the stormy skies. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the veneer of normalcy began to erode, giving way to the harsh reality of our fractured bond. By the dawn of 2020, the tenuous threads that bound us together began to fray, unraveling with each passing day. Her demeanor grew increasingly cold and distant, her words laced with a venomous edge that cut deeper than any physical wound. Despite the veneer of normalcy that shrouded our public facade, the cracks in our relationship widened, threatening to swallow us whole. And then, in a single moment of heartbreaking clarity, she uttered the words that shattered the fragile remnants of our bond. "I don't want you," she declared, her voice a dagger plunging into the depths of my soul. In that moment, the walls of our shared existence crumbled, leaving naught but the hollow echo of shattered dreams. Yet, even amidst the wreckage of our shattered dreams, a glimmer of hope flickered in the darkness. For in the crucible of our shared suffering, we found the strength to confront the demons that haunted us, forging a bond that transcended the bounds of mere flesh and bone. In the quiet moments of solitude that followed, I found solace in the embrace of our shared memories, each one a testament to the love that had once flourished between us. And though the road ahead may be fraught with uncertainty, I take solace in the knowledge that we are not alone, for in the depths of our shared suffering, we find the strength to rise anew, like a phoenix reborn from the ashes. Tonight, we had plans to visit a Christmas village, a festive outing that should have filled our hearts with joy. Yet, as we wandered through the twinkling lights and merry decorations, a heavy cloud of unease hung over me like a shroud. My children, ever perceptive, sensed the shift in my demeanor, their concerned gazes silently probing the depths of my troubled soul. Even my son, in a rare display of insight beyond his years, remarked, "You sound hurt." The truth is, I'm grappling with a whirlwind of emotions, unsure of which path to tread. The looming specter of divorce has cast a long shadow over my life, its weight bearing down on me with an almost unbearable intensity. In the past month alone, the strain of navigating this tumultuous journey has taken its toll, causing me to shed 20 pounds without even trying, a physical manifestation of the mental anguish that plagues me day and night. For 15 long years, I labored tirelessly to pay off her debts, a Herculean task that consumed my every waking moment. From credit card bills totaling $10,000 to student loans amounting to $15,000, and even a hefty $45,000 car loan, I spared no effort in shouldering the burden of her financial obligations. And now, as we stand on the precipice of divorce, I find myself staring down the barrel of yet another daunting challenge, the prospect of owing her at least $40,000 for the house we once called home. It's a daunting prospect, to say the least, but I refuse to succumb to despair. With grit and determination, I am determined to weather this storm, no matter how fierce it may rage. Yet, just as I was mentally preparing myself for the trials ahead, fate dealt me a cruel blow in the form of betrayal. In the span of a mere month, she has managed to inflict wounds upon my heart that I never thought possible. The woman I once knew, the one I pledged my heart and soul to, now feels like a stranger, her actions shrouded in mystery and deceit. As I grapple with the devastating fallout of her betrayal, I find myself torn between conflicting emotions. On one hand, there is the overwhelming urge to shield my daughter from the harsh realities of our fractured relationship, to spare her the pain of knowing that her parents' love has crumbled to dust. And yet, on the other hand, there is the gnawing fear that keeping her in the dark may only serve to deepen her wounds, leaving her resentful and disillusioned. Lost, confused, and consumed by a maelstrom of conflicting emotions, I find myself adrift in a sea of uncertainty, with no compass to guide me home. And as I cast a weary gaze upon my wife, I am met with the chilling realization that she stands unmoved, her indifference a stark reminder of the chasm that now divides us. Thank you for lending me your ear, for allowing me to unburden my troubled soul in this moment of vulnerability. Though the tears may flow freely as I commit these words to paper, there is a strange comfort in the act of sharing my pain with kindred spirits, even if they exist only in the vast expanse of cyberspace. So, after a bit of planning, I set up a time to have a serious chat with her, which happened just a day later. We sat ourselves down, ready to tackle the tough stuff. I made it clear that I wasn't okay with her seeing this other guy until our divorce was squared away. It felt downright disrespectful to me. I mean, if we're going our separate ways, fine, but let's not muck things up with extra drama, especially with folks who are supposed to be friends. She saw where I was coming from, and we agreed on that point. Then came the nitty-gritty of dividing things up. I reckon I did a fair job. No alimony, no child support, just straight down the middle custody. We'll both pitch in for the kids' clothes, and everything else gets split right down the middle. The house stays with me, but I've got to cough up about 43 grand in equity to square things up. At the end of it all, she walks away with 40 grand, owes her pops 10 grand, and has a solid 800 credit score, all thanks to yours truly. When I finally had a heart-to-heart with her mom, I got an earful. Turns out, when she got wind that we were going to have a chat, my wife spilled the beans. At first, she tried to dodge the truth about her infidelity, but eventually, she came clean. Needless to say, my mother-in-law wasn't best pleased. She gave her daughter a good talking to, and then the waterworks started. She was scared stiff that I might cut her out of my life, but I assured her that wasn't on the cards. Fast forward to mid-January, and I've shed a whopping 40 pounds. I'm hitting the gym religiously to keep my head above water. But now comes the toughest part, breaking the news to the kids. I promised myself I wouldn't lie to them, but I wasn't about to throw my soon-to-be ex under the bus either. I figured if they asked, I'd try to sidestep the tough stuff. Turns out, my wife felt the same way. But I knew deep down that our daughter, bless her heart, wasn't going to take this news lying down. She's a chip off the old block, that one, sharp as a tack and quick to sniff out any funny business. Sure enough, as soon as we sat them down, she cut right to the chase. Are you guys getting divorced? She asked, tears already welling up in her eyes. And seeing my kids crying like that? Well, let's just say it hit me right in the gut. Then came the moment when my wife made a monumental slip-up. She said, listen, we both want this. And that's when my daughter unleashed a torrent of emotions that shook me to the core. She cried out, that's nonsense. My father would never want this. You want this. Look at him, he's crying. I've never seen him cry before. This is all on you. Then, without missing a beat, she confronted my wife, demanding to know if she had been cheating on me. My wife tried to dodge the question, but my daughter wasn't having any of it. She kept pressing, her voice rising with each repetition of, tell me the truth, until my wife finally confessed. It was like watching a master interrogator at work. In just 3 minutes, my daughter managed to extract more information than I had in an entire month. Afterward, I had heart-to-heart conversations with each of my kids separately. My 12-year-old son needed reassurance that things would be okay and that any changes would be minimal. But deep down, I could sense his apprehension about what the future held. My daughter, on the other hand, revealed something that touched me to the core. She confessed that her tears weren't for herself but for me, for the pain I was enduring because of this situation. I held her close, comforting her as best as I could. Then she asked me for a promise, a solemn vow that I couldn't refuse. She wanted me to promise that if, when all of this was over, my wife needed a place to stay, I would let her stay with us. Despite everything that had happened, despite the hurt and betrayal, my daughter still cared deeply for her mom. And I couldn't turn my back on that. When my daughter confronted her mom, she demanded a promise in return, to stop seeing the other guy. Unfortunately, my wife broke that promise after just 2 weeks. Since then, she's been sneaking around, meeting him for short periods of time at places like Target. I caught her once again, sparking another heated argument. Once more, she agreed to stop seeing him, though she still talks to him. As for me, I'm in the process of refinancing my house, while my wife is searching for her own place. Her wealthy aunt is co-signing for her, so hopefully, she'll find something soon. But there's one more thing I need to address, something that might be controversial. Yes, I have evidence, and yes, I know everything about this other guy. But I've made the decision not to tell his wife. I know it might seem selfish, but my motives are entirely centered on protecting myself and my family. I refuse to be the one to do his dirty work for him. If he wants to leave his wife for my wife, that's his choice, but he'll have to be the one to make that decision. I won't contribute to making it happen. I've seen this scenario play out before, with my wife's wealthy aunt. She got involved with a married man, the wife found out, and left. Then she moved right in. She went from being a struggling single mother to a millionaire practically overnight. A similar fate might await my wife, but I won't be the one to pave the way for it. It's been 16 months since I found out about my wife's affair, and if you check my post history, you'll see how things have unfolded since then. After nearly 17 years of marriage, I uncovered my wife's infidelity, and the finalization of our divorce this past August marked the end of an era. Amidst the upheaval, I made a solemn promise to my children, to minimize the disruption to their lives as much as possible. And true to my word, I've remained steadfast in upholding that commitment. In the wake of our divorce, my ex-wife embarked on the daunting task of finding a new home while still residing under the same roof. Despite facing defeat in 16 bidding wars, I managed to secure a house nearby that she fancied. Through a heartfelt conversation with the owner, he graciously extended an offer solely to her, bypassing other potential buyers. Knowing that I played a part in ensuring my children's proximity to their mother fills me with a sense of fulfillment. Our divorce settlement proved to be fair and equitable, granting me the blessing of no alimony or child support, and a harmonious 50-50 custody arrangement. Retaining the family home, I settled the equity owed to her through a timely refinancing before interest rates surged. Over the ensuing months, I devoted myself to transforming our shared space, rearranging and refreshing it with newfound purpose. Amidst the adjustments, my focus remained steadfast on nurturing my children's well-being, maintaining a positive outlook, and sustaining my physical health through regular visits to the gym. Despite the emotional turmoil, I endeavored to foster an amicable relationship with my ex-wife, providing a sense of comfort and stability for our children. To their delight, she even joined us for cherished holiday gatherings, allowing them to savor the festivities without disruption. While some may question my approach, I've chosen to release any lingering resentment, prioritizing my children's happiness above all else. In December, serendipity led me to encounter a remarkable woman, beautiful, kind-hearted, and divorced with 2 children of her own. Despite the logistical challenges posed by custody arrangements, our bond flourishes, albeit with limited opportunities to connect each month. Her presence brings an abundance of joy and companionship into my life, enriching my journey toward healing and renewal. As for my ex-wife's romantic endeavors, I've consciously chosen to remain in the dark, opting not to delve into her personal affairs. While rumors of her interactions circulate, I refrain from prying into her private life. However, one incident did catch my attention, a night 3 weeks post-move, where she found herself embroiled in a confrontation with 4 individuals during a date. The irony of the situation elicited a wry chuckle from me, though I harbor no ill will toward her. Regarding the other man involved in her infidelity, I've confided in mutual friends, who found themselves in his company at a social event. Overheard discussions alluded to my awareness of the affair, prompting speculative jests about his precarious predicament. While the truth remains undisclosed to him, I harbor no desire for retribution, preferring to focus on my own path toward healing and growth. I'm certain our paths will eventually cross, but I'm not actively seeking it out. It's been 16 months since D-Day, and I find myself in a new chapter of life, one adorned with a new girlfriend, a strengthened bond with my children, a fulfilling career, robust physical health, and financial stability. To say I feel blessed would be an understatement. For those navigating a similar journey, allow me to offer some words of wisdom garnered from my own experience. Firstly, maintain a positive outlook. Resist the temptation to let bitterness and negativity overshadow your days. While it's easier said than done, cultivating a mindset of optimism can work wonders in navigating the stormy seas of divorce. Financial concerns often loom large during such tumultuous times. If you find yourself in a precarious financial position, consider sitting down with your spouse to hash out an agreement sans lawyers. This approach can help secure some funds to facilitate your transition to a new chapter in life. For those with children, fostering a cordial relationship with your ex-partner is paramount. While it may seem daunting, remember that your efforts are for the well-being of your children, not your former spouse. Nurturing a harmonious co-parenting dynamic can provide stability and reassurance for your little ones during this tumultuous period. Exercise, both for the body and mind, can be a powerful antidote to stress. Consider incorporating regular physical activity into your routine, whether it's hitting the gym or going for a brisk walk in the park. Not only does exercise promote physical well-being, but it also nurtures mental resilience, helping you navigate the challenges ahead with grace and resilience. It's crucial to remember that every situation is unique, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach to healing from divorce. Take the time to explore what works best for you and your circumstances, whether it's seeking therapy, joining a support group, or immersing yourself in new hobbies and interests. As you embark on this journey of healing and self-discovery, remember that closure is not guaranteed. Trust may have been irreparably damaged, and the prospect of reconciliation may remain elusive. Instead, focus your energies on moving forward and opening your heart to someone who truly deserves your love and affection. If traditional avenues of meeting new people prove challenging, don't hesitate to explore online dating platforms like Bumble. These platforms offer a convenient and effective way to connect with like-minded individuals, opening doors to new possibilities and potential romantic prospects. While my update may not be as dramatic as some within this community, I find solace in the fact that things have taken a positive turn for myself and my children. Ultimately, their well-being is what truly matters, and for that, I am immensely grateful. I extend my heartfelt thanks to this community for their kindness and support throughout this journey. Your words of encouragement have made a significant difference in my life, serving as a beacon of hope during the darkest of times. Second story. Hannah and I hail from the same bustling town, teeming with nearly 20,000 souls. Despite our shared roots, our paths remained uncharted during our high school years, with nary a word exchanged between us. It wasn't until a few years back that we delved into earnest conversations that would alter the course of our lives. Upon graduating from college, my career led me on a journey traversing the length and breadth of the state. Eager to intertwine my professional endeavors with my hometown roots, I advocated for an office in my beloved town. With no other business representatives in sight, my request was swiftly granted, granting me the opportunity to nurture connections within my community. In the ensuing months, I established a rhythm of spending 1 to 2 weeks at the city office, another week in my hometown, and the remaining time traversing the country. It was during this time that fate intervened, weaving its intricate threads to bring Hannah into my orbit. Our encounter unfolded on a balmy Friday evening, following my return from yet another voyage. Engrossed in paperwork at my office, I was interrupted by Craig, a familiar face who wore the dual hats of managing director and colleague. Craig and I shared a storied history, having grown up in the same tight-knit enclave, our bond deepening post-college. Amidst casual banter, Craig extended a spontaneous invitation to a house party he and his cohorts were hosting later that evening. Though the invitation caught me off guard, I acquiesced, enticed by the prospect of unwinding with friends over a few libations. At the soiree, Craig introduced me to Hannah, a fresh face in the branch where my hometown office was stationed. United by shared high school memories, our connection was instantaneous, setting the stage for a blossoming romance. The evening unfolded seamlessly, with Hannah effortlessly endearing herself to my parents, and her own parents expressing their approval of our burgeoning relationship. 2 years of courtship culminated in a pivotal decision, Hannah's relocation to my hometown, where she moved into my abode. Initially, our union thrived, suffused with warmth and affection. However, as time wore on, subtle shifts began to surface, casting a shadow over our idyllic existence. Our once lengthy FaceTime sessions dwindled, punctuated by Hannah's professed busyness, while whispers of a familiar car prowling the vicinity cast a pall of suspicion over our relationship. Clothing that bore no resemblance to my wardrobe found its way into my closet, sparking a gnawing sense of unease that refused to be quelled. Despite Hannah's assurances to the contrary, doubts festered, gnawing at the fringes of my consciousness. It wasn't until nearly 6 months later that the truth came crashing down around me, shattering the fragile illusion of trust one had clung to. Following the swift conclusion of a business negotiation, I opted for an early return home, intent on surprising Hannah. Yet, what awaited me was a revelation far more unsettling than any surprise I could have anticipated. As I approached the back entrance of our abode, a sight unfolded before me that would forever alter the course of our narrative. There, nestled amidst the shadows, was a sleek black Chevrolet Camaro, a familiar sight that sent a chill down my spine. The telltale signs of deceit, once dismissed as paranoia, now stared back at me with haunting clarity. With a heavy heart and trembling hands, I braced myself for the truth that awaited within. In the heart of my kitchen, an agonizing scene unfolded before my eyes. Hannah and Craig, two figures intertwined in a passionate embrace, their movements a cruel dance upon the familiar stage of my dining table. Time itself seemed to pause, as if the universe held its breath, awaiting my reaction. A surge of emotions flooded my being, my heart plummeting to depths unknown. How could this be? Here, in the sanctuary of my own home, my trusted friend and beloved girlfriend engaged in a betrayal so profound it left me reeling. Paralyzed by shock and disbelief, I stood rooted to the spot, grappling with the enormity of the situation. A whirlwind of thoughts besieged my mind, each more bewildering than the last. Was this a cruel trick of the mind, a nightmare from which I would soon awaken? Or was it stark reality, a harsh truth too painful to comprehend? In the grip of despair, I felt utterly defeated, my world crumbling around me. With a heavy heart and faltering steps, I turned away, the weight of their transgression bearing down upon me like a leaden shroud. In silence, I retreated, my soul consumed by a tempest of conflicting emotions. Tears flowed freely, a torrent of sorrow and anguish cascading down my cheeks, each drop a testament to the depth of my pain. Yet, amid the turmoil, a flicker of rage ignited within me, a primal instinct to lash out and wreak havoc upon those who had wronged me. But I, bound by principles of nonviolence, resisted the urge, determined to exact a different form of retribution. Thus, with steely resolve, I devised a plan to mete out justice and bring their deceit to light. Returning to the scene of the betrayal, I positioned myself discreetly, a silent sentinel amidst the darkness. With bated breath, I observed their every move, my gaze fixed upon Craig's car, a silent sentinel of their transgression. Summoning every ounce of courage, I reached for my phone and dialed her number, the ringing a harbinger of impending confrontation. Their faces paled as my name flashed across the screen, shock and fear writ large upon their features. And yet, despite the palpable tension, they dared not answer, consumed by guilt and trepidation. Undeterred, I persisted, calling again and again until finally, she relented, her voice strained with feigned innocence. With a heavy heart, I feigned ignorance, masking the turmoil within as I concocted a ruse to conceal my knowledge of their betrayal. As the call concluded, a sense of grim satisfaction washed over me, tempered by the bitter sting of betrayal. And yet, as Craig hastily retreated into the night, his hurried departure a testament to the fear that gripped them both, a fleeting sense of vindication warmed my soul. Alone in the stillness of the night, I remained vigil, a solitary guardian in the darkness. And as the hours passed, sleep eluded me, my mind awash with tumultuous thoughts and unanswered questions, each one a poignant reminder of the shattered trust that lay in ruins around me. Feeling the sting of betrayal sear through my veins, I knew vengeance would be my companion in the days to come. While my upbringing preached the virtues of pacifism and the power of karma, I found solace in the notion that sometimes, fate needed a little nudge in the right direction. With a heart heavy with hurt, I embarked on a path to mete out justice, each step a calculated move towards retribution. My first target was Craig, a man with a penchant for indulgence, his hidden vices shrouded in secrecy. It was by pure chance that I stumbled upon his weakness one fateful day, the telltale signs of his addiction laid bare before me. Rather than confront him outright, I bided my time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. A gathering of friends provided the perfect cover for my scheme, the jovial atmosphere masking the dark intentions brewing beneath the surface. With Craig suitably inebriated, I seized the opportunity to delve into his secrets, his unconscious state offering me unrestricted access to his inner sanctum. What I found within was beyond my wildest imaginings, a trove of illicit substances hidden in plain sight. With evidence in hand, I set my plan into motion, each move executed with surgical precision. A discreetly placed camera captured his every move, ensuring that his downfall would be swift and merciless. Meanwhile, a staged break-in at my home served as the catalyst for a chain of events that would irrevocably alter the course of our lives. As the pieces of my plan fell into place, I watched from the sidelines, a silent observer of my own creation. Messages of concern flooded in, the facade of normalcy crumbling under the weight of my deception. Yet amid the chaos, I remained steadfast, my resolve unshaken by the storm raging around me. Upon my return, I took command of the situation, orchestrating the installation of security measures with military precision. With cameras poised to capture every moment and alarms ready to sound at the slightest hint of trouble, I stood ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Though the road ahead would be fraught with uncertainty, I took comfort in the knowledge that justice would prevail. With each passing day, the wounds of betrayal began to heal, replaced by a steely resolve forged in the fires of adversity. And as the dust settled, I stood tall, a testament to the power of resilience in the face of adversity. At long last, the moment I had been mentally preparing for arrived, Hannah's inquiry about privacy within our own home. Her question, though couched in a veil of bashfulness, bore a weighty significance that I couldn't ignore. With practiced ease, the representative from the security company reassured us, explaining that such queries were not uncommon among homeowners seeking a balance between security and personal space. As he demonstrated the process of temporarily disabling specific cameras for moments of privacy, I couldn't help but wonder about additional safeguards. It occurred to me that even when the cameras were turned off, there might still be a need for alerts in case of any unforeseen circumstances. This thought prompted a swift return from the representative, who graciously assisted me in setting up email notifications, a small but crucial detail in our quest for security. In the brief windows when Hannah ventured out, ostensibly for errands or groceries, I seized the opportunity to clandestinely install the spy button cameras throughout the house. Each placement was strategic, chosen to capture every angle and interaction, ensuring that no detail would escape my watchful eye. With the technical aspects attended to, my focus shifted to the legal realm. Seeking guidance on the nuances of couple laws in our jurisdiction, I turned to the knowledgeable denizens of Reddit's legal advice communities. Their insights proved invaluable, connecting me with a seasoned lawyer who provided clarity on our legal standing and armed me with a robust legal document to safeguard my interests. Buoyed by this newfound sense of security, I received news of a potential promotion at work, an unexpected boon that bolstered my resolve. With professional prospects looking bright, I turned my attention back to the intricate web of deceit I was weaving at home. As I plotted my next move, a fortuitous opportunity presented itself, a vacation request for Hannah. Sensing the chance to orchestrate her temporary absence, I approached Craig, appealing to his goodwill with a carefully crafted story. His eager approval only served to fuel my determination, knowing that each step brought me closer to the moment of reckoning. With the pieces falling into place, I unveiled the surprise spa getaway to Hannah, concealing my true intentions beneath a veneer of excitement. As she bid me farewell, little did she know that her departure marked the beginning of the endgame, a meticulously crafted plan poised to unfold in the days to come. I parked my car a distance away and diligently checked the live CCTV feed, scanning for any signs of movement. But alas, there was no trace of them. Switching tactics, I turned to the spy cameras, strategically placed throughout the house. It was the one nestled discreetly within the bedside lamp that captured the damning evidence, a scene of betrayal unfolding in the sanctity of our bedroom. With no CCTV cameras installed in our private quarters, Hannah perhaps felt it was a haven safe from prying eyes. Little did she know, every moment of their tryst over the past 2 weeks had been meticulously recorded, unbeknownst to them. As I watched the footage, a wry smile played upon my lips, marveling at the chaos I had incited. Summoning all my resolve, I made my first move, a call to the police, my identity shrouded by a blocked caller ID. I spun a tale of suspicion, weaving a narrative of illicit activities in the alley behind my house. With Craig's cart described in detail, I subtly hinted at his involvement, setting the wheels of justice in motion. In a calculated move, I forwarded incriminating footage to Craig's boss, revealing his clandestine activities in the office. Meanwhile, a call to Hannah, feigning mere minutes from home, served as the prelude to the grand finale. As I arrived on the scene, the stage was set, the dramatic exit of Craig, hastily fleeing the scene as the police gave chase, a perfect culmination of my carefully orchestrated plan. Yet amidst the chaos, a sense of satisfaction washed over me, knowing that justice had been served. The following day brought a semblance of normalcy, as Hannah and her friends departed, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing in their wake. With patience as my ally, I set the wheels in motion, enlisting the help of a friend to facilitate my swift departure from the scene of the betrayal. In the aftermath of Craig's arrest, news spread like wildfire through our small town, his disgrace a cautionary tale for all to heed. As I shared the story with our families, omitting certain details for the sake of propriety, a sense of closure washed over me. Though my decision to part ways with Hannah was met with mixed emotions, our evening of camaraderie served as a bittersweet farewell, a final moment of unity before forging ahead on separate paths. With each passing day, I busied myself with preparations for the next chapter of my life, tying up loose ends and bidding farewell to the town that had been my home for so long. As I handed over the evidence of Hannah's betrayal to Catherine, a trusted confidant, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders, a sense of closure as I turned the page on this tumultuous chapter of my life. The legal document stipulated that Hannah was bound by strict directives not to make any contact with me. Alongside these directives were clear instructions on how she could retrieve her belongings, which were safely stored in a rented storage unit. After exchanging a brief farewell, I embarked on the journey back to the bustling city, leaving behind the quietude of our hometown. Come Sunday morning, I awoke to a barrage of missed calls, voicemails, and text messages. It turned out that Hannah had returned home unexpectedly, her arrival met with an eerie emptiness, a stark contrast to the warmth and familiarity she had known before. Sensing that something was awry, she frantically sought solace, reaching out to my parents in her distress. Yet, to her dismay, she was met with closed doors and icy silence. In her desperation, she sought refuge in the comfort of others, eventually finding solace in the form of Catherine, who held a package for her. The flood of angry texts and voicemails that ensued painted a picture of her turmoil and anguish. Accusations flew, alleging deceit and manipulation on my part. Despite my concerns, she did not appear at my doorstep, sparing me from a confrontation I was ill-prepared to face. 6 weeks elapsed since my departure, marked by a new chapter unfolding in the city. With a promotion in hand, I embraced the newfound sense of contentment that enveloped me, finding solace in the familiarity of my new surroundings. And so, as I reflect on the tumultuous journey that led me here, I extend my gratitude to all who have supported me along the way.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and click on the little bell icon for notifications of new stories.